know about you is what we want the world to know on the global scale now. We have attendees from all over the world watching you, sir.
Thank you.
So later in the program, in this fireside session, we will take a couple of questions from the audience. And also, a Google link will be sent to the audience to fill attendance. This is to enable us compile proper records for the free one CPD points from the MBA ICLE. So at this point in time, once again, welcome our guest, Chief T.J.O. OKPOKO SCA. So yes, sir.
Yes.
We're happy to have you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, sir.
And I thank all my colleagues who are tuning in
Yes, sir.
to listen to these old stories.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
So we'll begin with questions. Chief, in 1970, after graduating from the University of London and the London School of Economics and Political Science, you and your co-mates, the likes of Alawi, Roderick Bozimore, John Edu, and my father, Dr. ARUOTURE, when you came back to Nigeria, went to Nigerian Law School, and you were called in 1971. Thereafter, all of you came back to WARRI and set up practice. In fact, the three of you had your office on the same story building on WARRI Sapler Road. Would want you to share how your growing up, your early childhood in Nigeria, your sojourn in the United Kingdom, in England as at that time, and studying law, getting immersed in their culture, their legal system. We would want to know how this shaped how you came back, designed your practice, and became this immensely successful. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Growing up in Nigeria was a very fantastic experience. In WARRI, I came to WARRI in 1949 from the village to live with my father's stepdaughter at Ahmed's Transport. There, I completed the primary school at a very late age. And so within WARRI, there was no division of any kind. We formed a Bassa Boys Club consisting of all people, Hausa boys, Chekili boys, Ijo, Igbos, and we were acting plays in Igbo and other things. Nobody asks your father's name. Nobody asks where you come from. And that was how WARRI was a very hot place. So many of us slept on the veranda outside. Next morning you wake up, take your bath, and go to whatever you want to do. There was neither fear nor intimidation. We were okay. That was how it was. Until finally get into the profession of being a teacher, a primary school teacher. I taught for 10 years and then went to the Delta Provincial Teacher Training College for 2 years to become a grade 3 teacher. Thereafter, I taught for another 2 years before I decided to travel to the UK. The experience I had in the teacher training college He had me towards the decision that I will never again go to teacher training college. The discipline, the intimidation was just too much. The humiliation was too much. He said I was not going to do that. So, as you see me, I did not have secondary education. The only education I had was a grade 3 teacher training college. So when I came out, rather than prepare to go to teacher training college, I decided to study Arabic tuition through what was then the Rapid Result College. You pay, they send you study materials from the UK. When you think you're all right, you go for the London University exam. That was the course I followed. By 1962, I got the GC Honorary level. When those who went with me to teacher training college were preparing to go for their grade 2 teacher training college, I left them there. Luckily, met a man for my greatest respect in this world. I did not know what to do, but my contact address on my GC, and that was also for Professor Nweri, was through my uncle's post office boxes, box 16, happening. That's where we kept our letters. So when the results came, we went to collect our results together. We collected our results, we made it, and then in the post office box, we also collected a letter for another user of the box we gave to my uncle. We look at the back of it. It was addressed to us, addressed to the person from what appeared in evidence to be from the passport control office. In the passport, in the stamp, rubber stamp, there was the inscriptions, passport control office, 5 to 7 or 11 Kakawa Street, Lagos.
Okay.
So we looked at it. In the middle of it, say, dispatched by Eddie Ikomi, whom we have never known. So my friend and I said, this person called Ikomi must be from the Delta, must be from the West.
Yes.
So we wrote him a letter. Not addressed to him, Eddie Ikomi, Kakawa Street, Lagos. Fortunately, the old post office, no matter where you post the letter, it will get to its destination and will be delivered. The letter was delivered to him. In the letter we asked if it could help us to get passport funds. 3 weeks later, he sent us passport funds. And advised us on how to fill the form.
Okay.
And when completed, we should send it to him.
Dispatch.
With £1 postal order. So we sent. We have never seen him.
Yes.
So less than 1 month later, we got registered envelopes from passport control office. That was the first passport I got. No stress. I didn't go there. Didn't do thumb printing.
No. No facial.
No facial
passport.
But we sent passport.
Okay, yeah, photographs. Yes.
That was what we got. So that was how we got our passport. Having got the passport, we said, this man who had done this for us, let us go and see him. So we went to Lagos. That was my first time I went to Lagos.
How was what year?
1964.
64. Okay.
We got to Lagos. We passed through Agmanikaka in the Edo. I'm not good back to Bandu. Normally, the journey takes 2 days to go to Lagos. You have to go through a form.
Okay.
Agmanikaka. near place near Ibadan before the turn to go to Lagos. Because that was the only road that was available. We got to Lagos late, so we slept at the motor park. Next morning, we managed to wash our face and headed for the passport office at Kakawa Street, which we don't know. We didn't know the address. But we got one of these small taxis that they had at that time. And that taxi took us there. We got to the passport control office.
Okay.
Knocked at the door and entered. In it, we saw a fair complexion man sitting in front. So we approached him. He asked us where we came from. We came from Sapele. He said, I'm the T.J.O. That was the time we knew. That was the beginning of the journey of our friendship. So that is the
early days. So
now
England.
To go to England again, we now went back to Eddie.
Okay.
But we didn't know what to do. Eddie is a Shekiri man.
Okay.
He didn't look at us as Robo people. We went to Eddie. Eddie received us. We got the passport. What do we do now to go to England? Then there was one scheme called employer's voucher scheme. You apply, then the Home Office will give you a date for interview. My friend Professor Yohari had applied. The date they gave him was about 2-3 years later. My own was 7 years later.
Jesus Christ.
They wait and come for interview.
How is that possible?
So we told him that it's difficult for us to do that. He said the best thing for us to go as students. But which school are we going to go to? He said, since you have ordinary level VC, you can get admitted into any of the polytechnics and so on. But which school? I don't know the address of any school. I have never, up to that stage, written a letter to anybody in the UK. At the end, Eddie gave us gave us one address, the school, and advised us that people have used it and they have succeeded. The school's name is Tunic Sulphur College of Music.
Okay.
In one of the places, I think, SE23 or something, I can't know.
I still remember the code. You still remember the code?
Yes, I researched for it about 6 months ago.
Okay.
The school is still there, but it has changed its name.
Yes.
So I proposed that when next I'm in the UK, I'll go and see the school. So Eddie advised us, we wrote to the school, sent £5 postal order each, and within a month, our admission letter properly stamped and sealed. That's how we got admission to the school. What were we going to study? Music. To the Summer College of Music. So we went there. When we got it, again, we went back to Lagos to see Eddie Komi. Because the next thing was visa. So Eddie Komi took us to a travel agent who took us to the British High Commission. That was where we applied for. In those days, not like now, where you write, you apply, you pay, and then they give you a date. That was not the situation. In those days, you walk into the passport office of the British High Commission, fill your form, then you are interviewed. Passport given or passport refused. That was how I did it. Professor Yohari and I went on different days. On the day I went, the man who interviewed me was a young, slim, career
Civil servant.
Yes. He asked me, why are you going to England to study music? Bobby Benson is here. E.T. Mensah is in Ghana. Why are you going to spend money to go to that? I said, that is not the type of music I want to study. He said, what music do you want to study? I said, I want to study music, classical music, and become the commander of the police band. Or join the military after the training and become leader of the military band.
Okay.
He looked at me. He looked at me. He took his stamp, stamped my passport, signed it, granted me visa, student visa. Before handing over to me, he told me, he said, Mr. OKPOKO, I'm giving this visa, convinced that the last thing you're going to study in the UK is music. I laughed in my mind. I insisted, but I know I was speaking against my own conscience.
Yes.
But that was how we got the visa to the UK. In the UK, we arrived. The very day I arrived was the day I got a job. I arrived at 1 o'clock in the night. By next morning, when my uncle took me to the house I had to pay for, he showed me the labor office. So after putting my things in my house, I showed the labor office and I got a job the same day. I quickly wrote to Eddie that this is the condition here. Please try and come. Thank God, by December of that year, he was with us. That is the first time we had it happen. Thereafter, when I did working
and schooling.
Well, no, me, I didn't work in school. I did the advanced level. We got there in September, did the advanced level in January. Luckily, passed. Then I took up a proper full-time job. Say people wash plate in the UK. I didn't wash plate.
So what did you do?
Okay. I worked in a cheese company.
Okay, cheese.
A cheese company at London Bridge. The company was called Sweets. They were preparing cheese for the army. So that was the factory where we worked. The place was smelling bad cheese, a very bad odor. But we worked. After about 7 months, I got a job as a postman. And that's the only work I did in the UK until I came back. As a postman, it was a full-time job. And me, I wanted extra time to work so that I can earn some good money and cater for myself. So I worked for 2 years in the post office.
Was that when, how did you now fund your education?
I funded it by myself.
By working, right?
By working for those 2 years.
Okay.
And I saved enough money to pay my school fees. Okay. What was important was my school fees. A cousin of mine had given me a room and a parlor to stay. No rent. Which I'm grateful of you today.
That was very generous of you.
Okay. Meanwhile, I was able to bring my wife after 1 year. Okay. My wife was working to feed the house while I was going to school. I was in school for a total of 4 years. The first degree, 3 years. The other one, at the London School of Economics, 1 year.
That was for your master's?
1 year.
1 year.
We were the first set of those who did master's degree in London School of Economics for 1 year. London School of Economics and Political Science for 1 year. They said they were doing a crash program to get law teachers for the emerging African and Caribbean universities.
Oh, okay.
If I had wanted, I could have gone to Caribbean or to other African countries. But I said, no, I must come home.
Thank you, Chief. So thereafter, you came Nigeria to Nigerian Law School, 1971.
Again, yes. But my coming was not that planned. We had made a send-off for your father and the other people who were ready to go home. Okay. I was one of those who organized it for them. I was doing a master's degree at that time. The result came and I passed the master's degree. So the school said, look, why don't you just continue and do a PhD? I said, okay.
But my father continued and got his PhD.
Yes. Okay. So I said, okay, let me send my children home. My children already.
Okay.
Terry, she won us one that came Joyce was the second one. So I brought her home. Came to my father's first daughter, who took my lead and who brought me up. And she said, you will not go back again. I said, no, Mama, I must go back. He said, no. If I allow you to go now, you will not come until I'm dead. So I couldn't disobey. I agreed. That made me late for the law school for that year.
Oh.
So I went to Lagos. They said, no chance. I was late because I got there in December. Ultimately, I made contacts. They spoke to them. They allowed me in after they closed lecture for the first time. And
You're lucky.
was lucky. And again, I was not taught for that part one.
Okay. That part one.
It was the notes of Thompson Yowore.
Okay.
I think it's in Lagos, practicing in Lagos, that I read. Then the notes of Mr. Agore.
Okay.
Those were the ones that I read. And at the end of the day, people thought I would not make it, but thank God I still made it part one.
Yeah, that's good.
So that was how it came.
Thank you.
After that, continued in part two, we were then called on the 18th of July, 1971. Thereafter, we came back. I don't know whether we came back. I came back to Warri. Others may have come from other places.
Okay. You set up your office.
To set up their offices. We were 11 who came to Warri that year. That was the highest number of lawyers who had come to Warri at any time before that date.
Okay.
Scott Markov was there. O.V. Siakwere was there. Ekwoba was the Igbo man.
Okay.
He studied in Nigeria, attended the Biafran Law School, was called to the Biafran bar, and was practicing.
Okay.
But the Supreme Court and the other courts in this country said, you don't recognize Biafra Law School.
Yes.
Therefore, they must come back. That's why they joined ourselves.
Okay.
Then we were about 120 or so.
Okay.
Because of the influx from bias.
Biafra.
Yes. So at the end, we all qualified and came out that year. And when we registered, I became number 27.
On the call.
On the call.
It's remarkable that you still remember all this. Those of us who are younger generation can't even remember our number on the roll.
No.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
So you set up practice on Warri Circular Road. As at that time, it was said, okay, on that building you had John Edu and you had Dr. ARUOTURE. And it was said that because there were fewer lawyers, there was more opportunities. And when you compare to what we have now, we have a large number of lawyers, fewer opportunities. The market is now very competitive, strenuous, difficult. What's your view about it? Because you've been in the past, you are practicing the present, and by God's grace, you practice in the future. What do you think? Do you agree with that postulation?
No, I don't. What was the practice at that time? It is true the lawyers were few.
Yes.
What was the practice market at that time? You come to Warri to sell something, you have no commercial practice. There's no company that retained you except Dr. O.J. and one or two other people. And what do they retain you for? Litigation alone.
Okay.
There is no legal opinion to be given. There is no advice to be given on the government of any contract. So commercial practice was totally out. So those were few. The competition to survive in a litigation dependent practice was not into it. What was the type of commercial practice you had? No. Maybe you serve notice to quit. And even the notice to quit you serve will come from people who know you. And they do not consider serving notice to quit as a legal service. I can tell you that more than 60% of the notice to quit as served tenants in Warri here, I was not paid one dime. The people think that the number one who say, maybe have so that was what it was until things began to open up.
Okay.
Today, what we are doing now is a specialty that lawyers can do. It wasn't there in those days. There was no legal opinion. You have transaction lawyers
Now.
It wasn't there in those days. You had arbitration. Now. Arbitration of a very massive type, including international commercial arbitration. Those ones were not there at that time.
Maritime law practice.
Maritime law practice. Taxation practice.
Yes.
Those ones were not there at that time. So the market was small and narrow for the number of lawyers that were here. So if you say that it's more competitive now than it was then, I will tell you, we are looking at only one side.
Okay. So I'm looking at it from one prison. Thank you, Daniel Silk.
Okay.
In 1987, you were conferred with the Silk rank by a special recommendation of the Supreme Court of Nigeria at that time, arising from your special and rare advocacy skills. And they said, why are you not an SAN? And so you were advised to apply. So now, in modern times, so the rules have changed for application, and so we have a situation now where, because there are quota requirements for appeals, a whole lot of lawyers now, they have overburdened the Supreme Court with so many appeals, some of them frivolous, because of course you don't need to win, you just need to show that I have this judgment, either for or against. And so the Supreme Court is now overburdened, and I would want your opinion on how this can be reformed, especially now that the recent list that came out, not the recent list, the call for application, there is an application form for 5 million naira, which has caused the uproar. A lot of people are saying 5 million, it's not even a guarantee that you be conferred with the Silk rank. I would want to ask if you have any recommendations on how this can be reformed so it doesn't affect the workload of the Supreme Court, it doesn't motivate lawyers to go file frivolous appeals, and so many other things. Would want your opinion.
I don't know. You see, in my time, the Supreme Court had records. When they deliver judgment, that judgment is sent down to the court and decided the case at the bottom. So the judge who decided the case at the bottom has a copy. I don't know when they stopped that practice. Maybe when the Court of Appeal came. I have tried to advocate that they should resume that practice. That the judge who gives a judgment will see the opinion of the appellate court and their comment over what he has done. But nobody seems to be listening. In those days, the number was fixed. Number of people to be called, elevated was fixed.
Okay.
So there was no formal interview. The interview that was held was by the justices themselves reading what appeal you have done, the explanation you have made. That was what happened in those days. And what was the number? The number for the whole country was 5.
The entire country.
The country, 5. In my own set, 5 were approved, but 1 was disqualified at the last minute.
Okay.
That's Ishola Roads was disqualified at the last minute because the body of senior advocates protested against him that he molested the junior in his office.
Oh, Christ.
So, I look back and remember how Rotimi Williams demonstrated it to us. Rotimi Williams said, I do not want to sit on the bench, on the front bench, and I have a colleague tickling me behind me. So that was the position. We were just 5. That one was disqualified. So in our set, it was 4.
Okay.
These 4, I think 3 of us are still alive. Tony Mobo was our senior at that time. Then Afe Babalola.
Who was your set too?
Then the one who died from Ilori, I've forgotten his name now, plus myself. I was the most junior of them all. But before that time, the Supreme Court and the judges had time to look at you and your practice. It is by their recommendations that you are considered in those days. That was what it was at that time. If they see your pleadings, just for a claim for trespass, that will take 1.5 pages, you go and plead 75 paragraphs. They know you are not seriously there. So they were able to assess who is who. I was just about 7 years. And the rule prevailing in the Supreme Court at that time was that the rule that they introduced in 1977 was that if you are under 7, you cannot appear on your own in the Supreme Court. But 1 or 2 cases I've done within that period made them to recognize me. And when the case came up, about 1980 something. I don't know, there's 1980 or something. Dr. Momo was in the case.
Okay.
I was invited as an amicus curiae
By the Supreme Court.
by the Supreme Court to come and judge. Case of, I think, Igoro or something, as on the University of had to do with the filing, time to do with the 5 briefs, and plus with Golo case here. Yes.
Oh, really?
Was there. So we went down there, the line, the bench was filled. Rotimi Williams took one side, made the submissions, all the others agreed with him. Molajo, an erudite senior advocate from Lagos. His son is a senior advocate now. Took the opposite side, and it's the opposite side that accorded with my view, so I aligned with him. At the end, the court gave judgment.
Oh, that's profound.
So that is the end of it. So you look at it as it is at that time. The number was limited. The number remained limited until the Wace retired. Every time they want to increase the number, maybe 2 or 3, maybe 2 or 3. At the time Wace was leaving, the maximum number was 10, no, 15.
Okay.
No, it was 10. Then Begori took over, and the first conferment, they added 16. without any formal approval from anybody. But it was the Chief Judge, Chief Justice, so nobody. That is how the thing started to escalate. We have said many, many times, be a good lawyer in your own right,
Yes.
then become a senior advocate. If you become a senior advocate, so as to become a good lawyer, you are likely to be a disappointment.
Of course.
That is what it is. In ranking, I came to number 57. 57 at the time I became senior advocate. I became seniority one. All those are taking that title in the country. I was number 57.
Yes.
Today, one set of the law school, one set of the what they grant this nowadays. It's almost, I think it's almost 1,000 more now. I don't know. So, what can we do to help the Supreme Court? You see, the trouble is not in the number or the struggle to get cases to the Supreme Court. No. The trouble of the Supreme Court is structural. We have not addressed the issue yet. People go to the Supreme Court because they are not satisfied that they have got justice
From the Court of Appeal.
from the Court of Appeal. And the root cause of that trouble in the Court of Appeal, people talk about corruption, people talk about influence, yes, but the root cause is more than that. Take a judge, a man who practiced law in Warri all his life, dealing with contract cases, land,
Yes.
and so on. Then you take him to the Court of Appeal, Federal Court of Appeal. At the Federal Court of Appeal, what cases come before him? Law of taxation, aviation law,
Yes.
which he has never touched. So what do you do in that case? You concur.
I concur.
I concur. I deal with my friend. It's the same thing on the other side of the coin. Take a man from the north. Civil procedure as known to us has never been there. Maybe he learned Sharia law and so on and so forth. Hardly any land case. Then you put him in the Court of Appeal, Federal Court of Appeal. Then you ask him to decide the question of ownership of land from Warri, from any part of the Delta State. You know that he cannot
No,
understand.
he cannot. He doesn't have the debts.
What I have suggested to them, which they have refused to listen to, is let there be a Federal Court of Appeal that will take federal causes and go. Let us have the state's Court of Appeal that will take state causes. No matter how bad or corrupt anybody may be, if the law is clear, then people will take precaution. Appeal will not just go straight to the Supreme Court. If the Court of Appeal, if the Supreme Court is to be helped in a number of cases, something has got to be done by the middle appellate system. Let there be two sets of the Court of Appeal.
The
Federal Court of Appeal and the State Court of Appeal, so that federal can deal with such matters as aviation, naval matters, maritime matters, and so on. Whereas the states will deal with contract, land,
matrimonial causes,
and other things. Until they do that one, justice will continue to elude litigants before the Court of Appeal. And so we will see the result so far is that of conflicting judgments. That's what we are seeing now. It's going to be worse.
And this now brings us to one, still on the judiciary, brings us to one germane issue. Sometime in 2011, the NBA set up a 12-man committee headed by you to look into the face-off between the then Chief Justice of Nigeria, Honorable Justice Aloysius Katsina Ado, and the President of the Court of Appeal, Honorable Justice Issa Ayo Salami, over alleged interference in the judgments of Sokoto election, Sokoto State gubernatorial elections petition appeal. This brought a lot of disrepute to the judiciary. The NBA said no, we have to step in. He set up a 12-man committee of learned senior advocates with integrity. You and me, the leader, the head of that committee. This interference that happened in 2011, we are having a lot of cases of interference or alleged cases of interference currently. As someone who has headed a committee of that level, of that kind, what do you think, what's your advice on this level of interference? Could there be accusations of political interference, that politicians are interfering in judicial outcomes? This has also delayed, so the appellate courts are more fixated on resolving political matters to the death of other matters, civil and criminal law. Somebody with experience like your humble self, what do you think should be done about restoring the dignity of the judiciary and allowing the common man to trust in the judicial process once again?
Thank you. The story of the conflict between the President of the Court of Appeal and the CJN is a very sad one. It was a show of shame. Let me just summarize this case for you. There was a gubernatorial election in Sokoto. One person was declared the winner. That person was in one party. They came to another party and jumped into the race. He won. His opponent said he was not qualified to contest that election because he was not in the party that sponsored him. They then did that case, and the appeal came up at the Court of Appeal in Kaduna. And the Court of Appeal allowed the appeal. So that the man was not qualified to contest the election in that party. Instead of stopping there, the panel of the Court of Appeal added an order for a rerun of the election, which is good. Then he added the offensive one and said that in that rerun election, the only candidates will be those who took part in the earlier one.
Very offensive.
And that is the one where the Court of Appeal itself has held that that other man who won before is not qualified. Again, when they did this, when they say rerun, the man now filed papers to go. Because the Court of Appeal, as a rider, has said in that election, only those who took part in the earlier one would be allowed to take part. So his opponent now brought an application to say that he's not qualified to contest the election. So that was what he did. I cannot go into the details of what it was, though I know them. The election were then held, and the man again won. So the other man went to court. It's in that appeal that brought about this thing. The appeal court has not finished with the matter. Then the headship of the Court of Appeal has changed.
Okay, that time.
Yes. From Ibrahim to Salami. In the course when Salami when he took over, he found 5 case files of appeal pending in the various appellate courts, in various panels.
Okay.
He is now it is his duty to assign those cases to the panel or appoint panels to hear the cases. And he proceeded to do that. That was his offense. There are some interest group didn't want him to appoint a panel.
Which was his responsibility.
Which is his legal responsibility.
As PCA.
Yes. So he appointed, then the panel for Sokoto and appointed. Panel for Sokoto was now hearing the case. It is the hearing of that case that brought the crisis. And what was the crisis? Salami said he was in his office when the CJN sent for him to come to see him.
Okay.
So he went to see the CJN. Justice Mustafa was there, was with them. Then, according to Salami, according to Justice Salami, the CJN asked him, said, look, that case, that appeal, that's the Sokoto appeal, said the Sultan is interested in it. So, he should tell the panel to dismiss the appeal. Salami said, I'm sorry, I cannot do that with interference. Said, okay, if you don't want to do that, then go and disband the panel so that we can set up a new panel. Salami said, I'm sorry. What have they done? What is their complaint against them? No complaint was going forward. Instead, they said, when we met the CJN,
the committee.
Yes, when the committee met the CJN, he said he got information that the judgment had leaked. That was what he said. If the judgment had leaked, is that the reason to interfere? Anyway, he now said, what about Salami's allegation that you are interfering with the work of the panel? He said that he did not interfere. He said so not by ordinary word, but an affidavit. He said, I did not interfere with the work of the panel. All I did was to direct them to put the appeal on hold. Gentlemen, I will leave you with that. If directing a panel to put the judgment and determination of an appeal on hold, tell me what is it that amount to interference. And in this interference, many lawyers were involved. Sadly, many lawyers were involved. At least one senior advocate was involved. I've been trying to look for the judgment.
The report.
No, the report is there. But the report was submitted to JB Daddy. We signed it, all of us signed it. And there was one lady who did not attend the day we signed. When she had in Lagos that we had signed it, she flew to Lagos to say she wants to sign our portion.
Yes.
That report has never been made public. I'm trying to see whether it can become the subject of a proposed book, which I intend to write.
Oh, that's very good.
We have got the name of the proposed book ready.
Will not mention it. I say, would you want to mention it? No.
I have nothing against mentioning it.
Okay.
Mentioning it.
Okay.
Because many things follow this petition.
Yes.
And this thing. Remember that it was an attempt to take Salome out of the way, that he was forcibly appointed to the
Supreme Court.
And when he refused to go to the Supreme Court, he went to court, and no court agreed to hear his case. Can a man who has been doing justice all his life suffered much humiliation than that? And so I have seen, and it can be described as injustice in the temple of justice.
Injustice in the temple of justice. You're very wonderful.
So
Right.
that is the position, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you very much, Anyasil. I think sometime in '98, well, you were part of a group of selfless and courageous legal practitioners who resuscitated the NBA from its coma of over 6 years during the military era, and you ended up becoming this 18th president of the Nigerian Bar Association in '98. That was the last period, almost the last period of the military era, and you chaperoned the NBA into the early moments of Nigerian democracy. This is the fourth republic or so. Could you please tell us how you were able to steer the NBA from that crisis moment to where it is today, laying the foundation?
Thank you. The Port Harcourt debacle was because of the ambition of people who wanted to become president of the bar. Mrs. Tuye was the acting president. Then my friend from Kebbi State was fighting to be the president. Before we knew it, people were drawing daggers. We are not doing a conference. Why were you drawing daggers? He said they have heard that this young man, this young radical from Lagos, Falana, had gone behind to the court to obtain an order of injunction preventing the election. So they said they would die. Everybody ran away. I was one of those who remained in the place and formally closed the place, because the constitution says that when there is such a crisis, the most senior lawyer in place to take charge. That was what I did. I did that, and we appointed one person, one Igbo man, to go on to take charge. Unfortunately, he was ambitious. That's how the crisis lasted. Until Chief Awomolo and other chairmen of branches, the body was dead at the top, but the branches refused to die. So the chairman of the branches went around the country holding meetings and tending to bring things together. All of us have to join it. I was an outsider then. Justice from Isoko, Guru Maharaj George.
Okay.
Anigboro
Yes.
was chairman of the branch at that time. They were going to meetings and we were ready for these meetings. He came back to me one day and said, look, we are going to nominate you to contest the election. I said, but I'm not ready. He said, you are going to contest. That's how I contested. So that was the position. Having contested that election, one thing occurred to me, that many of first lawyers are still very ignorant about our profession. If you are doing good, if you are being honest, the profession is seeing you. It may not be recording it, but it's in the memory of members of the bar. I want to stop.
Just a minute.
No, just finish.
I need to make an announcement. Okay, so this is for attendees. There is a Google form that will be posted for attendance. It is for the purpose of getting the free CPD. So please just look out for it. You will get it. You fill your full name, your email address, your SCN number, and your branch. With that, we can send to the NBA ICLE for attendance. I think it has been posted already. So please look at it's there on the. You can start filling now for attendance. Thank you.
So that was the position. So it was the body of chairman that conducted the election. We must pay tribute to Justice Salami. Justice Akombi.
Okay, Mustafa
Akombi. And Justice Uwais, both of whom have now died. They came out and said the bar must be in place. That was how it came to be. And my task then, because there was no structure being on the ground, all our files were gone. So, first thing was to go and visit our secretariat in Lagos. When I got there, it was a bush. The building itself became the latrine of those who were there. Feces all around. So, that was where the work started. We cleared it. Washed it, refurnished, furniture. Then I appealed to the seniors that we need to have our records. The seniors, the one I can remember most is Balogu.
Harriet.
Loaded NBA records that he has to give to me. That was how we started the blue file. So that was the way that became that.
Sorry, I've just been corrected by the NBA ICLE committee. Yes, we are expected to fill that Google form, but it is not for CPD, it's for attendance. So they just want to make that correction. I've just been corrected. Thank you.
Okay. So that's how we collected documents. Kehinde Shofola was the source of materials. And other people, other lawyers, senior lawyers in Lagos, they gave us support. Sooner we had files for our operations. Next was for me to move from office to office of the senior members of the bar.
Okay.
Kehinde Shofola, Rotimi Williams, Kasumu, then T.J.O Ajayi, T.O.S Benson, and others to rally support of the bar. That was how the bar came to be. After this individual visit, we now proceeded on state.
Okay.
To visit members of the bar from state to state. And then we came together and organized the first
AGC.
executive meeting
The neck.
or general meeting, I don't know what to call
We call neck.
it.
The neck.
So
Yeah.
we organized it, at which a decision was taken. We're not going to go to the police and the army. We took a decision at that time during my presidency that lawyers serving in government
Okay.
should be admitted for offices in the bar association. I was opposed that bringing soldiers here will reveal our secrets to the government.
Sorry, sir, just a minute. Well, just when you are done with this, we will go for, there are some questions by the audience. We'll just take one or two, so you could just address them, because it's expected to be an interactive session, so not just you and I.
So, at the end of the day, T.J.O and others supported me that we should bring in the soldiers. That was how we got in the soldiers. My argument was that if soldiers are ruling and we don't bring them in, they will be suspicious that we are doing something secret against them. Bring them in.
Okay.
And that was how they sent us the commissioner of police in Plateau State at that time. I've forgotten his name now. He became a DIG before he retired. He was there. He would come to the meeting. He will hold meeting with us, committee and other hold meeting with us. And did a lot to clarify the position of the NBA to the military authorities.
Oh, that's very good.
And so, the police, the Navy, were all, those 7 in, those, I remember 7 in them were incorporated. The small mishap we had was the man from the Air Force who was nominated to come came to that meeting in uniform. And there was uproar. So that was the only challenge we had. But at the end, they now have the military fora in the NBA. They had the corporate councils fora in the NBA and so on. So we brought them in. When the House had assembled, we went to meet the military president of Nigeria, Abubakar.
Absalami Abubakar.
Yes. We went to meet him. He received us. He had promised that 29th May will be the day that they will go. So 29th May, well, before 29th May, we went to pay him an official courtesy call. He received us. Then in our speech, we said, Your Excellency, the bar will live here, trusting that 29th May is unchangeable. He replied to us. He said, there is no question changing that date. And the man stuck to it. Then we came to the civilian regime. When the civilian regime, and the bar made an award to him. It's a companion of honor, a leader of honor. So that was how we navigated our way to all those ones.
Okay.
And when it's important I record this one for the world to hear. When the civilian government came in, we held a conference in Port Harcourt to resume from where we broke up. Held a conference, and in a committee headed by OCG Okocha, we formulated a guideline for the incoming administration called the Port Harcourt Declaration. So we took it and presented it to the new president. We followed that one up by organizing a national dinner for
Continue.
to organize a national dinner for the president and the newly elected federal government. It was a very successful dinner. On that day, General Obasanjo was in charge, but he flew back to be able to attend the dinner. I had gathered all the senior men in the profession. Dr. Lee Williams delivered the dinner speech. T.J.O was there. Gathered all the senior lawyers present in Abuja. And again, I must thank the Shell company, Shell Development Company of Nigeria Limited.
Okay.
Then one of our members, who was one of the executives.
Questions.
Sorry. Questions from the audience.
Yeah. Let me.
I don't have access to them, so please send them to my WhatsApp.
So
Please.
we got in touch with Shell. Now Chief Williams will need a plane to take him to Abuja to deliver the speech. Shell agreed. We went through the legal advisor to Shell. Shell agreed to provide a plane, a jet, to take him to Abuja and bring him back. Not only that, he has to sleep overnight. The dinner was in the evening. Presidential suit in Naikonuga in Abuja. It was paid for by Shell. At the end, the dinner did not cost the NBA one dime. Shell picked up the bill. That was where speeches and loyalties were pledged. And the dinner speech of Chief Williams, I have searched his own life, so I searched through his children for a copy. I've not been able to get a copy. After his speech, when he was speaking, if a pin drops, you will hear it. Everyone was quiet. Then, in his response, Father made a memorable statement that I can never forget. He said, just see what the Bar Association has done. Since when in this country have we gathered like this, executive, legislature, and judiciary gathered together to have dinner and thinking about our country? So all of us clap for me.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dennis. I recall there was a time when I asked a question on the reform of the sanction application process. I mentioned that the recent requirements, part of the recent requirements is for the payment of a non-refundable fee of 5 million naira. A whole lot of persons online want you to speak on it and get your opinion on it. Thank you.
Well, I don't know what actuated those who brought that policy about. If they want to discourage people from applying to become servants, let them take the right steps. This extortion, I beg to say, I'm sorry to say, that's what comes to my mind. What on earth, what message are you delivering to the applicant and to the common man on the street that you have to pay an application fee of
5 million.
5 million? I don't see the justification for it. In our time, we never paid.
There was no fee.
There was no fee. There was no fee. I remember I didn't pay any fee. So why should we pay fees? Have they considered the consequence of paying fees? All right. If people borrow 5 million to go and seek for elevation to soundship.
That's even just for the application. There are other things we need to spend money on.
Okay. Then, what would be the expectation of people who are doing it? All right. Supposing the good materials are available, but don't have that type of money, what will he do? It will not be considered. Are we conceding in our profession that money is the predominant thing in the life of a lawyer? I don't think so. What message are you sending to members of the public? People are criticizing the payment of money for application fee for political office holders. Now you want to impose it on those who want to become senior advocates. What's the ordinary man on the street say? They are all the same. They are all politicians. They paid to apply. Don't you think we'll be reducing the honor that that office senior advocate carries? Do we have to quantify everything? Do we have to do everything by reference to the amount of money that you have? Okay. What are we going to do with this money? The man who's going to become senior advocate is going to buy silk gown, the one for practice and the one for ceremony. That has already taken about 4 million from me. Because when we bought, it was cheap. Today, it's no longer cheap. So, my view is that it is wrong to see everything, to regulate everything by way of money. If this practice continues, then it is going to be a matter of who can afford the money. Good materials will be dropped in maybe crooks and those who can manipulate and make money to become senior advocate of tomorrow. That will be most unfortunate. And it's something that should not continue at all.
Thank you, Nancy. You have been a past chairman of the body of benchers. Before then, you were vice chair. Before you became chairman. What do you think about? What do you think can be done about the curriculum of universities, the Faculty of Law universities, and the law school to better prepare lawyers for the demands of modern day business and specialized law practice? Because we're looking now that a whole lot of the lawyers, they may know the law technically, but you see this is the business of the law. Because law, apart from being a profession, it's also a business. It's what you use in feeding your family. A lot of lawyers do not understand how to go about making money from the profession. We also need to look at it also from the angle of also keeping up with ethical standards. As a past chairman of the body of benchers, what do you think can be done in this area?
Thank you. All my life, I've always fought for the standards and integrity of our regulatory system. We have the rules of ethics, but they are not addressing the issue, in my humble view. When I was chairman of the body of benchers, I brought a memo to the body to the effect that we should introduce internship into the profession as a way of imparting professional knowledge to the students, and that we should do so without wasting extra time or imposing extra time. And what I suggested was that when an aspirant is admitted to study law in the university, he should look for chambers, among recommended chambers, in which he will do his internship while he's in the university. While we were studying in the university in England, you join the Inns of Court. So that while you are studying the degree course, you are also doing the professional course. And as a law student member of an Inns of Court, you have many privileges. You go to dining with your senior. Depending upon your relationship with him, he can take you out to his own house. You can take you out to dinner. He can say, come and carry my bag to court. In that way, there is implant of the culture of what it takes to be a lawyer in the person who is coming. Not spending any extra year.
Learning these things.
So by the time you go to law school to write the bar exam, you've already put on the gown of what it is to be a lawyer. Maybe those who knew better than me, when I made that suggestion as chairman of the Board of Benches, they didn't see anything good in that. But today, what is the position? Is that not where we are gearing to now?
Of course.
Right. That one of internship should be properly considered and established. I have some interns with me in my office. They're in this office now. They look at files, past or present. They read documents, they read processes. So in this age where people don't read, let them go through the process in chambers. They are not lawyers yet, but let them go through the processes in chambers. And we will see improvement in standards. I know that Afim Obalola University is doing that on compulsory for its law students. One or two other universities are doing it compulsory. You serve your internship, when you come back to school, you present your internship report, signed by the person under whom you did your internship. This country should look at the practical aspect of it. And for the curriculum, that was an issue we fought many, many times. We said that our own director of legal law school, DG, must liaise with the National University Commission so that both can team up and call the universities so that they can work out the law curriculum. Whether they have done so, I don't know. We are producing lawyers now, some of whom are really illiterates. The lawyer came to this office for me to sign certification form. I wasn't satisfied with what he was writing. Nationality, Nigeria. His nationality, Nigeria. Surname. Maiden name. Put the name of his wife. So I said, did you go to school? He said, yes. Did you go to school? He said, yes. Bring the dictionary. What is maiden? Instead of going for the he went for the telephone.
He wanted to check Google.
So this AI, artificial intelligence, may be good, but it's not concrete. It's not one that is authoritative enough from a legal point of view. You must look at your law, look at your law report before you can get the true meaning of what it means. So, for me, there is need for us to get the profession involved in the curriculum issue.
Yes.
And the one we are trying to establish law school everywhere now, that is not necessary. The product that is coming from the law school now, if you had passed out 5 years ago, if you called 5 years ago, compare yourself to those that are coming out today, you will see the difference. It's not me who will tell you. So,
the difference is massive.
yes. So if we want to, people are counting on numbers. So we call 5,000 to the bar last year. There is no place in this world where they call that number of persons to the bar.
Only in Nigeria.
It's only Nigeria. And are we the biggest country?
No.
Are we as big as China? Are we as big as America?
Or India.
India. So India has stuck to the ethics of the profession all along. Even the South African countries, the East African countries,
Very true.
that's what they are. But we seem to permit any and everything. When issue arose as to whether Muslim girls should wear a hijab for the swearing in, everyone in this world was concerned. Everyone in the Arab world was concerned. Oh no, they must be allowed. Freedom of freedom. Okay. When they become judges, they wear it. Don't you wear the wig? The wig, judges' wig. They are sitting. Those who wore hijab for court to the bar, do they wear the wig when they are sitting as judges? Who is deceiving who? Then some people even say we do not need wig and gown anymore. To be cancelled. It's archaic. It's colonialistic. Okay. Every person has his rule. Every calling has his rule. Can you imagine an army without uniform? Can you imagine a police force without uniform?
But in the Western world, they are phasing it out. In America, they are phasing the use of wig and gown.
No, forget America, please.
Now, even UK, recently, they have allowed those lawyers, male lawyers, who braid their hair, who have dreadlocks. The new rules allow them not to put on wigs. That's their covering. It's enough. In England,
Anyway.
so they are our colonial. We learned it from them. They are also revising
Well,
their rules.
if you are going to braid your hair and you come to me, I may not see you. But what is it? Won't it be abused? Even if that is true, won't it be abused here?
It will be settled.
When the other man went to the Supreme Court with his amulet and
Orobo attire.
what did the court do? Did they not run away? So let us not go to those things.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll come to them one day, but not now.
Not now.
We are too immature now to do all those type of things. Let us not deceive ourselves. I entered the profession at a time when Nigerian judgments were being cited all over the world, all over the common jurisdictions. Today, who talks about it? What are we going to cite? Apart from the Supreme Court, you want to go and cite the High Court judicial, I believe. Ofuta said, I believe, I don't accept, I don't do this. It's not a magic word. Yet, that thing that Ofuta said is not done. it is still being done today. I have a whole case thrown out because of the issue of Agbe. He said the judge believed him. He said the judge believed him. Why did the judge believe him? And why did he not believe the other side? These are things that we have to investigate. So I don't think
We should go there now.
lowering the standards or doing automatic change is anything to go by. Now remember the question you posed sometime. That is the one of whether the Supreme Court should be a policy court to decide only,
Yes.
to decide only constitutional cases.
Yes.
And I'm sure that the example you have at hand is America.
Yes, America, well, it has a jurisdiction. It's when the Supreme Court there just focuses on constitutional matters,
Yes.
and allows the states to rule on other issues.
So, is that what you are going to copy? What is this? The definition of a state in America is not the same as a state in Nigeria. These states in America, 51 states, were independent countries of their own, who came together in self-interest to say, we want to form the United States of America. And they ceded to the central government what they each agreed.
Okay.
What they each agreed. So it is the states that came up, the independence that came up to form America. In our case, it is the federal government that formed the states. If you say that there will be 40 states, there will be 40 states. You cannot compare that type of state. And then, of course, we have our own pitfalls.
Yes. Thank you.
We tell lies.
Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you.
So we just have time is on
Not on our side.
not on our side now. It was supposed to be a 1-hour program, but we just can't stop listening to you. You have run a successful partnership over the years. A lot of lawyers in Nigeria are used to running individually as a sole proprietorship. Would want you to give us insights on how what you have done to be this successful as a partnership.
Thank you.
Just briefly, sir.
I have, from day one of my practice, taken the view that a one-man practice has no future in legal matters. While you are in practice, do a lot of research, collect a lot of materials. Supposing you retire or you die, if you are alone, that is the end of the chambers.
True.
I'm not hearing of Amro's chambers now. Whether he's still there, I don't know. Whether it is still there, I don't know. Scott Emakpo, I'm not hearing about his chambers. Now, those are people who came with us at the same time. Siakwe's chambers, I'm not seeing anyone. Even Dr. Kodero, I'm not seeing anyone. Who?
Maybe my father.
If you were not there, or if you are not there now, you will have come out of business. So all the labor you put in all these years, gone. So I took the view from the one that there has to be partnership. And we didn't wait to make money before we started our partnership. The first was with Mr. OKPOKO and Isokoma from Brede. We were classmates at the law school. We came back. He had no single kobo. He had no books, but for me, I had books. So we came together and established the office at number 22 on Mental Street. Guess what it was? It was one of my bedrooms. That was where I lived. One of the bedrooms, outer bedrooms, that's what we used as
The office.
the office. When I sit down there, we sit down by the corner there. There's only one small screen. Then the bench here. When the client comes, give him a bench. Sit down with the two of us. Until the time when some Americans came to this town and they searched for me and they got me in that place. We discussed with them extensively. I'm impressed. They were recommended to me by Chief Dafinune, who had wanted me to be in Lagos. So they said, okay, we're going, I will hear from them. They went, I never heard from them. So we went to Lagos. I went to Lagos to see. I said, I went. These people came to see me, said they will hear from them. He laughed. He said, we could not handle, we could not entrust our business to an attorney who operates from his bedroom. That's how we got the thing. Turned out to be an international drilling company. If we had got at one early stage, so we didn't get it. So when I told him that, he said, are you operating from your bedroom? I said, yes. He said, that is very bad. Can't you get a room to hire? I said, I've seen one, but I have no money to pay. He opened his drawer and brought out his Union Bank checkbook, gave me 250,000.
At that time?
Yeah, 250, not 1,000, 250 pounds. Gave me. I came back and paid the landlord for 1 year. That was how I moved to number 95 Morris Appeal Road. This was my office, the father's was at the top. So that is how it went.
Yes.
So that was what we did. That was the idea. So how do we nurse this idea? You have to be fair and fair. You have to be open and transparent. And the head of the place has to accept that you make financial sacrifice. In that way, you can move on. I said it many, many times in this branch and other branches. If you don't want to join any established firm, get people of your talent, form partnership. The day you are sick, your partner will go to court. Yes. If you attract more business, it will come to your benefit.
Very true.
These figures are not equal. And we know men are not equally talented.
Very true.
So, as it is, do your best. Get your friends in. Let each of you work honestly. Control of money, don't take it to yourself as a sinner. In this office, for example, I'm only an alternate signatory to our account. There is a partner who is in charge of directing how the money should be spent. There's another one who must approve. And whenever money comes, the accountant and one of the partners will be able to gather the money accounts. None of us collect money into our own personal pocket. The money is paid into the account. At the end of the month, they bring the money and say, look, this is what we got this month. The sharing formula, put it there.
Okay.
Put the sharing formula there. It's not a matter because we are partners, then you share it equally. No. We are not working equally.
Very true.
There must be one advantage or the other.
You're not even bringing briefs equally.
So, make that arrangement down. Don't wait until the brief comes before you do that. I give you a very small example of what used to happen. Many years ago, T.J.O was with us. I went to Lagos and T.J.O gave us a brief for a case that was coming up before Justice Obi in Benin. So we've not seen the client, so we agreed that the client will come on Monday morning. That case is Tuesday. So I got back and told T.J.O got brief from that place. So, we are going to Lagos, we are going to Benin on Monday. to take instructions and get on with the case next day. I said, okay, that was Thursday. Friday, I reminded him, said, please, we will go on Monday morning. He said, yes. Saturday, because we're going to court on Saturday, we're going to court on Saturday and also office on Saturday. He said, yes. Sunday, we go to office in the evening. When we got to office, I reminded him, some otherwise engaged. Otherwise engaged? He said, yes. So he didn't go. I then called Charles and Jennifer to go with me from this side to Benin. We went to Benin. Jennifer came from Lagos with the client. So we were there, Charles and I were there. We took this from to pay the papers. The next day we filed. The people went back and paid us very, very heavy fees. 20,000 naira.
20,000 naira.
Not 20 million, 20,000.
Oh, so what? For finding enough.
That's what you thought at that time. Yeah. Nobody ever charged more than 5,000 naira. I'm not sure that people paid more than 5,000. Who will pay you 10 million? The rich men in Warri here, for whom we're doing all the conveyancing matters, they won't pay you a kobo. Masha, my boy, my son, that's what it is. But when you go to their shop to come buy a wrapper for your wife, they'll charge you full amount.
That's the problem.
So that is the thing that there is. So when people were paid, the formula for sharing, that those who traveled to go and do the case have a higher percentage. So when they share money that month, Charles' money became higher than that of Jesa. Jennifer's money became higher than that of Jesa. It was annoying. And they summoned me before friends, and I explained to them. Then they told him, "That's not the rule, that's not the agreement." So yeah, but why did I not take him? I said, I should come and carry you. That started his anger against me. Yes. Finally, he said he was going. He asked the other juniors to go with him. About 4 Arubayi, to find a way. Udapo, that's tomorrow. He couldn't tell Aduya and he couldn't tell Jennifer to go with him. None of them wanted to go with him. And that's the same formula we have from that time with some modification. Yes. We still have up to today. At the end of the month, I don't go and check what is in the account. What is due to me comes to me. What is due to the man in Lagos goes to the man in Lagos. So that is the way. If done in that way and you see that confidence in your colleagues, be open. There's nothing to hide. Then of course, I like to get them. And in that case, what touches one partner touches the other. Whether it is debt, I used to work very hard. I'm still working very hard, but I'm working slower now than what it used to be. I assisted in the office for the required period. So that's it.
That even leads us to our final question.
Thank you.
A couple of weeks ago, we joined you in celebrating your 94th birthday anniversary.
Yes.
At this age, you are still a very active legal practitioner, having practiced for over 55 years. And of that 55 years, 38 as a senior advocate of Nigeria. Everybody is waiting to hear tips on how, especially knowing how very tasking the legal profession or legal practice is. How have you been able to manage the stress the discomfort, health. What are your tips? What do you have to say to us, younger generation, on how to manage and have a firm balance our health and the practice?
Okay, thank you very much. First and foremost, health is in the hands of God. Long life is in the hands of God. Babies to die in womb. Others go to old age before they die. So we thank God for what I am.
Yes.
There is no prescribed thing that one does. Live a normal, moderate life. Avoid excesses. If the thing is not something you can attain, work hard whether you can attain it. But not that you will climb corners to go and pick it from there. Work hard. There is no human problem that has no solution. I cannot tell you that I have one recipe for what I am now. But I have made the practice of law part of my body and part of my life. So I do it according to how my strength carries me. I've been doing one brief now for the past 4 weeks.
You still write briefs?
Yes. I have not finished the brief. But as in those days, 2-3 days, finished. So manage, have time for everything to do. You want to relax, don't over relax. Sleeping for 10 hours a day does not help it. Not sleeping does not help it. Not sleeping at all does not help it. Don't do it moderately. For instance, when I go home now, I'll go to bed, I eat, I go to bed. Maybe at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, I've had good sleep. I open my eyes, nobody wakes me. I open my eyes. If I feel like, go to the table to continue working. If sleep is coming, I leave my table and lie down. Allow your body to dictate to you the next physical action. That is what it is. Do not be greedy, do not be worried about anything that somebody has done this, you have not done this. Please don't. Take what is yours. Don't look to what other people get. That is the way I have lived. That is the way I have told people who work with me to live. I don't see why I should be riding an old car of 10 years old. That's what I'm riding. Whereas one of the things that I can afford a brand new car every year. But what do I do other than ride the car to the office and ride it back home? What do I do with the new car that the old car cannot do? And then when you are doing all those ones, I'm thinking about building many mansion houses. For those of you who are with us in Warri, I need not preach gospels. Dr. Oje's house has been sold. I'm sure that you people know it.
I'm not aware.
It has been sold. Where is the guarantee that my own house will not be sold to me?
No guarantees.
Because the vision of those people, the vision of our own children, is not our own. The house means nothing to them. So on and so forth. Look at Mosheshe Estate. Down. Look at the houses you find in WARRI housing estate. And they still the same houses you knew when you were young. So it's going to be for all of us. I read something somewhere, somebody wrote. He said, this is 2025. 20 years time, 100 years time will be 21, 25. So those of us who are living today, 90% of us will not be on the surface of this earth.
That's true.
We will be underground. And even in that underground, your body will not be the body that was buried. It has become rotten. It has become soil, nourishing, not human being again.
Yes, the
not
plants.
So the clothes you have that you like very much, that fits you very much, so they will not be available to you at that time. Even if you see them, they will be rags. Even these rags will be dust. That's what we want to say. Is that not true?
Very true, very profound.
Is that not true?
Yes, very true.
So,
Profound wisdom.
to summarize that one, let us live moderate life. You should not pretend to be what you are not.
Yes,
If you cannot afford, don't go and kill yourself to afford. If you cannot afford a new car, ride a new car. My children are also grown up. The only children I have now that are still in school are children of relations. As all of you know, my senior son is Terry. I think it's up to 28 or 29 years now. He's in New York practicing law. One would have thought that he would have come back to New York to take over. In this office, there will not take over by blood relation. No, does not follow. If you are working here, and the time comes for you to be promoted, or to get to where you have to learn chambers to head it. Let everybody get an assurance. Let everybody show that they are part of the establishment.
Yes.
Not that when they pay money, you put it in your pocket. At the end of the month, you pay people. No. For those who are partners, and those who are on salary, make sure that on the last working day of the month, they get their salary. That's the solution.
Thank you so much, Lenesio. We are indeed very grateful to you for your words of wisdom. This has been a highly educative, resourceful, and enlightening session. We took it upon ourselves to have this special fireside chat with you because we wanted, the committee sat down and said, we don't have a record, a video, audio record of you giving us your words of wisdom. And that it would be right that we have it because whatever it is we are doing here will be posted on YouTube, will be on the internet, will be for live. Those who were unable to join, they will have access to it. People in the future will have access to it. So it's going to be a timeless collection. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're very grateful and wish to thank you for taking out time from your busy schedule. This is this is about the fourth time we've been here and you have been joining us to coordinate things and plan, and so we are very grateful.
Thank you.
I wish to thank the audience for taking our time to participate. I do believe we have gained a lot from the Leonard Silk. Very priceless wisdom he has given to us. And special thanks to all members of the committee, the webinar committee, for putting this together. It was very tasking. The chairman of the branch was on our neck. You must deliver, you must deliver. Thank you very much, chairman of the branch, OKPOKO, for your support. Everything that we are able to do now, yes. Okay, Chief Inspector Guy is saying we should thank all God. Ogo has been very, very instrumental. She's a lawyer, but she's our IT person, so she's wearing two hats, putting on two hats, a lawyer and an IT personnel. And also to Professor T.J.O, he's our own professor. He's also a lawyer and also into IT, and we thank you very much for all what you have done to enable us get this in place. We have other programs lined up. As we progress, as we roll them out, we will let the audience know. I do believe that we have filled the Google form, so we have that as our attendance register. And as we all have a very beautiful weekend ahead, I say once again, thank you for being part of this. Thank you everyone. Thank you for members of the branch. Thank you for everybody all over the country, all over the world participating in this. Do have a very good weekend. Take care and God bless. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.